Welcome to lesson 3.4. In this lesson, we're going to talk about two main things. First, we're going to talk about solving rational equations. Then we're going to talk about solving rational inequalities. So in this first video, let's just focus on the equations aspect. A rational equation should have an equal sign. So something like here we have on A. Now you have solved equations like this before, so this should be review, not new. If we want to solve a rational equation, we always start by multiplying by the denominator to both sides because these will cancel, and we end up with something like this, which makes it a lot easier. Now 0 times anything is just 0, which makes this very easy to solve for. And we get 1/2, which is the x value where this equation intersects the 0 line. So if you have this equation in red, where it intersects the 0 green line is at an x value of 1/2. So that is how you solve it, and that is what it means graphically. So let's look at B. Once again, we are going to multiply by the denominator to make that go away. Now, this time it's not 0, so it doesn't just disappear. We need to distribute this 4 and get this. Then we solve it like any basic equation. And I get 2x equals -13. So solve that out, and I get x equals -13/2, which is the x value where this graph intersects the line at 4. Because remember, an equals means intersect. So where the graph intersects 4 happens at an x value of -13/2. So let's do one last example, example 2, because this example is a little bit tricky. Because when you go to solve this example, you do need to factor everything first, because this is difference of squares. And you'll notice that when I factor it, I have a whole. Something on top and bottom cancels. So I'm left with this. Now, if I try to solve this by multiplying both sides by my denominator, that goes away. 0 times anything is 0, and I end up with this, which you should say pretty quickly doesn't make any sense. 1 does not equal 0, which means this problem is actually a D&E, meaning this equation will never cross at 0. They'll never intersect each other. Because when they do, is actually a whole, doesn't exist. So those are a few examples of solving rational equations. In the next video, we'll look at solving rational inequalities by looking at a graph.